All right, let's talk about Geelong. Well, let's talk about Patrick Dangerfield.
Well, he's played over 300 games, TJ, and I think this was the best game of his career. It was the 5th-rated finals performance by Champion Data since those credits began, and he was just in everything. Everything that went through Geelong went through Patrick Dangerfield. This was the best finals performance I've seen. Now, we've seen players kick 6 and 7 goals in grand finals, but this was, I'm going to lift the team. They were under the pump early, and he was the man that got them going. He was the engine room, and I think it was his best game he has ever played in a career at his age. Ever. I think if you put it down, the moments of the game, what the game meant, where he's been, what he's done, he probably had more games where he's had more disposals, kicked bigger goals, but the performance and what it meant, I think it was his best game ever.
He's hungry to be a captain of a premiership side. I know he is, and good luck to him, Llordo. They're going to get it done, aren't they, the Cats?
Yeah, I think they will win this premiership, Rory. I think he will be that premiership captain. I think they're the complete side. So I just want to show one piece of vision, which is complete for me. So this is them on the half-back flank. So their ball movement is absolutely electric. They were all in sync. So these are high half forwards. So you saw Myers down there, Sean Manor. He doesn't nail the kick, so it's not the perfect kick. But then the pressure sets in. So Danger, just get the ball to ground. So then Hawthorn think they're out and they can chain it out. But look at Atkins. He's not going to let that ball get out. So then Hawthorn, are they going to be defensively sound? No, they're not. And then Dangerfield kicks the ball over his head. We spoke about the breakdown in stoppage work by Brisbane. Well, this is Hawthorn. Jeremy Cameron's a ruck. He's thinking, geez, am I the ruck? Lloyd Meek, am I the ruck? So he leaves. So suddenly Jeremy Cameron, he just only needs a moment to pounce and kick that goal. So then the next minute, we know he's a good player, Dylan Moore, but you go to sleep on Sean Manor in a forward stoppage, you are gone. So this is the next goal, and they just make you pay. The skills of Myers and Close and Manor and Max Holmes and Cameron and Dangerfield, the list just goes on and on. So that was another goal. And then you've got Scrimshaw. So Jaff isn't clean enough. So Jaff has been exposed in the last few finals. This is Scrimshaw on Dangerfield. So again, Jaff fumbles. Scrimmer has to see this out, Scrimshaw. He has to see this out on Dangerfield. He doesn't. And they just make you pay better than anyone. So I reckon they could win and win big next Saturday in the grand final.
Big, massive.
Yeah.
And Mark Blicavs I want to touch on too. He's one of Geelong's most valuable players, and I want to show you a bit of footage. And it's not all about stats, but it's some of the impact he has. But look at this for just a block in the ruck. His follow-up work's unbelievable. He had 4 centre clearances, and this was a big part of why Geelong won the game. They had 20 centre clearances to 5. Blicavs had 4 of them, and his follow-up work like this, and he's another midfielder.
So are you not bringing Stanley back in for the grand final?
I am not at the moment. I think they can cover him down back. I think Blicavs too damaging as a ruck because he can go as a midfielder too. His follow-up work's enormous. He also had 11 tackles, which suggests he puts pressure on too.
Even though they need to replace Tom Stewart, we'll get to the specific reasons for that in a moment. So no Tom Stewart, and the fact that they're facing a team which will go in with 2 big men, Darcy Fort and Oscar McInerney. Are you saying still no for Stanley if he's fit?
I'm saying no. Yeah, I'm saying no. I'm saying Blicavs play him as a ruck. I think he's got too many weapons and he can outrun, outspread those 2 in particular. He's too damaging around the ball afterwards, and I think Geelong cover Stewart down back with Guthrie. Guthrie stood up enormously on the weekend, and I think he can play that role. And Henry's been great, but I think they can cover.
I'm with Rory 100% because I think one of their great weapons is Blicavs as a ruckman. So.
He's a ruck mid.
Yeah, and that's been... He played on Lloyd Meek, who's as dominant and big a ruckman as there is, and he was one of the best players on the ground.
Well, you mentioned before the role of Ocean Mullen earlier in this final series, and the fact that they've got him and Mark O'Connor at their disposal to use in whichever way they see fit, and Tom Atkins, who, as we know, plays a similar accountable role, but is equally as damaging when he needs to be. But what do you see happening in this grand final with these 2 guys?
I think you go back to it, Mullen to McCluggage and O'Connor to Rayner. So, again, Weddle and Watson were just non-existent players, just like McCluggage wasn't in the first final. So they are that disciplined, and the team, like, full credit to Chris Scott. So everyone tries to manoeuvre their players to different positions to try and get away from them. but they just move the magnets seamlessly to still cater to continue that tag.
So what do you do with McCluggage and Rayner then, considering they got the job done on them last time?
Yeah, I'm going straight back to it.
Yeah, but would you change McCluggage's role or Rayner's role? Would you bring him up?
I'd be wrapped if they try and take McCluggage out of the midfield, where you go, well, it's a big tick, it's a big win. So I would give the goal square a bit more to Cameron Rayner to try and expose Mark O'Connor.
And the problem that was waiting to happen has now happened, that being a player getting concussed in a preliminary final and now, as per the 12-day protocols of rest, missing the grand final. Marbior Charles tackled on Tom Stewart. He's got a case to answer at the tribunal. He'll have to take the tribunal. He's been given 3 weeks by the match review office. He's not playing, obviously. The whole conversation, TJ, around the bye being after round 24 and not before the grand final, it would at least allow him under those 12 days to be potentially available. The actual incident itself, I have got no doubt or little doubt that had the Hawks made the grand final, the system itself would have allowed Marbior Child to work through it and be available for the grand final, despite that tackle being something that has been cracked down on in the home and away season.
Well, can we talk about the week off? Because there's a third option here. Don't have a week off. I don't like the week off before the finals, and I don't like the prospect of a week off before the grand final. I think it just buggers up momentum. And I get Tom Stewart, and I'm not taking any of the sympathy factor away from that whatsoever, but it's a level playing field when it comes to bad luck. And I would just eliminate the bye completely.
What will happen with the wildcard round then? So
it's going to complicate matters even further if they do extend the wild card down to 10th place on the ladder, and that would require the teams place 1 to 6 to probably have the bye at that period. So, yeah, they're yet to commit to the wild card despite making noises that they were going to bring it in.
The way this was always put to players was like you've got to start changing the narrative in your own head around the concussion being an injury like a hamstring. If you have a hamstring injury, you're going to miss some time in most cases, and that's the same as a concussion. If you have a concussion injury, you're just missing time.
Welcome back to the Sunday Footy Show. The Cats find themselves in very, very familiar territory, that being September and that being the grand final. How'd they do it, guys?
They're one of the best sides of the last 20 years, the Cats. Unbelievable. They did it. They started a bit slow, which we'll ask Jhe about in a second. But Jezza was awesome. Danger put the cape on. Bailey Smith was huge in the midfield. But we welcome Jhe Clark to the Footy Show this morning. Jhe, welcome to the Footy Show, mate. And that week off, you guys started a little slow. Hawks got the jump, but you guys settled nicely.
Thanks, Roy. Thanks for having me. It was pretty cool game to be a part of. The week off probably made us have a slow start, but as the game went on, we just kept getting better. So it was very impressive.
Jhe, your performance yourself. You came onto the ground. It was the heat of a prelim final, and you did really well. 14 disposals. You had multiple clearances. You were really clean, and you gave your side something. Is it enough for the coaches to say, you know what, we're going to start you in the starting 22 next week in the grand final?
I don't know about that. Thanks, Brownie, though. But, yeah, we'll see how we go. Definitely no guarantees with next week, but just got to keep trying to train hard on the track this week, and hopefully I'll stay in the team, whether that's in the 23 or the 22. But yeah, hopefully we can get it done.
Jhe, it's a tough role that you're playing, and I watched you closely against Brisbane, and the sub came with like 3 minutes to go, and I was really wanting to see you get on the ground, which you, for whatever reason, rotations, you only got on with about 25 seconds to go, and it's over. So how are you keeping yourself up mentally and the challenge of being a sub and never knowing when you're ever going to come on?
Yeah, it's a tough role sometimes. Sometimes you get on in the first quarter like I almost did on the weekend, and then you might not even get on or get on with a minute left like I did against Brisbane. But you just got to try and stay switched on the whole time. And it was my first final, so it was pretty cool to be a part of. I was just happy to be there, and just got to try and help out the teammates as much as you can and however you can on the bench.
Jhe, Max Holmes has endured some tough moments at this time of year previously. 2022 grand final miss, and then obviously the prelim final dramas of last year. And he's been such a great player for this footy club, a best and fairest winner, an important player, a big game again for him in this prelim final. It must be a great moment for the club as a whole to have him now available to again play, or to play, in a grand final.
Yeah, he's been huge, not only on the weekend, but throughout the whole year. He's been so consistent. He's so good throughout the club. He's been great for me, and he's always helping me out, giving me advice, and couldn't be more happy for him to finally get his go on the weekend and play in the grand final. And I'm sure he'll give it his best crack to try and get the job done for us.
Is there anyone within the team that you model yourself on? Like, look at Tom Atkins as we look at some of his highlights, 25 disposals, 11 tackles. So, yeah, you're not a big, huge midfielder, but is there anyone, is he someone that inspires you for what you could do over the coming years?
Yeah, definitely. I love Axe, love the way he plays, love how he is as a person. It's incredible how he goes out and plays like that every week. So it's probably who I inspire to play like in the future years, definitely.
The other guy who was pretty inspiring was your captain, Jhe. He was enormous again on Friday night. Any words of wisdom from the captain, Patrick Dangerfield, before he played? As you said, it was your first final.
Yeah, he's all about just enjoying it. It's so good to watch how he goes about it. I was sitting on the bench and you're just amazed of how hard he just grabs the ball and runs through everyone, doesn't care. So inspiring. So he shot me a text yesterday and just said it's going to be the best week of your life and could be the best day of your life. So yeah, just keep trying to have fun, and that's what he's all about.
Do you reckon he would have done that for every player, Jhe? I'm asking the question as captain. Is that something he does a fair bit to get around the players?
He probably would have, yeah, to be honest. He loves getting around, and he probably shot a text out to everyone, just enjoy the week, have fun. He did it last week in a meeting. He's really set on just enjoying it as it comes, because who knows, you never might be back here. So he probably did, I reckon.
They jumped to the Hawks early and you weren't playing your game style. It wasn't a Geelong game style I recognised in that first quarter. How did you go about getting the game back on your terms?
Yeah, we knew they were going to come out blazing like they did in the first two finals. So it's probably just keeping our composure, not getting too worried, and just stick to our game. We'll probably get a little bit beat around the contest and turning the ball over in our forward half. So we just got back to the basics, stuck to the basics, and yeah, tried to get the game on our terms, which we did.
Jhe, how are you and how are the other teammates of Tom Stewart feeling right now with what he's now going through?
Yeah, I feel for him a lot. He's such an important player in our team and around the club, and I'm sure the whole team can speak the same about him. I'm sure he'll be a bit down on himself that he can't play this week, but I have no doubt that he'll be in the club and with high spirits and very happy for the rest of the team, and he'll still contribute massively to the game on the weekend.
Now, Jhe, at the risk of getting mocked by my panellists here, we were just speaking with Darcy Wilmot from Brisbane, who spoke about a theme that was used heading into it, sort of drawing on an old movie, and a saying from that. And we know that Craig McRae is really big on themes at Collingwood. Does Chris Scott sort of adopt any of those measures, or it's just get out there and do it?
He hasn't really in the past, but in the team meeting he mentioned Taken, the movie, and it was something about you play to your strengths. Like, you're so confident in what you do, and he just tried to tell everyone, to get the message to the group that everyone's the best at what they do, so just back your strengths and it'll get the job done.
And the movie's Taken.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Beautiful. There you go.
I'm told his pre-game before the Sydney Grand Final a few years ago was unbelievable. The players were ready to run through a brick wall. What he set them up to do against the Sydney Swans, which they did in that first quarter.
Terrific stuff. Hey, Jhe, thanks very much, mate, and all the very best. And hopefully, through whatever circumstance, you play at 4 quarters, mate.
Ooh.
Okay, no, that's all good, mate. We're just saying thank you.
Oh, you're still there? Perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Okay, no worries at all. There you go. Nice young fella, isn't he?
He is very good.
And a good footballer
Did
too.
really well when he came on.
Yeah.
He was sharp.
Yeah.